again, and welcome to the Author Roundup. This special segment of the Book Connection Show showcases emerging indie authors who join us for a discussion of their newly published books. Join us for a conversation with our next guest author. Hi there, welcome to Author Roundup. My name is Emma. I'm your host for this episode. Self-published author Randall Reynolds is here with me today. He is a retired engineer living in West Michigan with his wife and their 2 rescue cats. He has 3 adult children and is a certified lifeguard who enjoys swimming, biking, and traveling. And he is here to discuss his new book, Sister Mary's Angels. Hi, Randy. How are you today?
I'm very well. How are you, Emma?
I'm very good, thank you. So you published your book into last year, right?
Yep.
Okay,
August.
August. Okay, and can you tell us a little bit about your book?
Well, it's a thriller. It's about a bunch of different characters, totally unrelated, that are drawn together by a bit of violence from one particular the the antagonist, I guess is the right word for it, and how they're drawn together from different parts of the state of Michigan. Yeah, basically, so they are all drawn together, and they found out that their mothers were murdered by this guy. 50 years later, they are summoned to the Upper Peninsula to find out their past because they did not know their past. They were given new identities and moved around. So the bad guy, the murderer, couldn't follow up and murder the children.
Mm-hmm.
So the book it's very fast paced. It
Okay.
takes place in a lot of different places, not just Michigan, Atlanta, Colorado. Where am I missing? Oh, and St. John, the Virgin Islands.
Okay.
So,
So a
so
little
that's
bit of
basically
everywhere.
the book. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Cool.
it's a fun read. I wanted to make a really fun read. I'm an
Okay.
avid reader. My mom was a school teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and the day after school ended, my sister and I would have to clean the whole house, scrub it from top to bottom, and then the next day she'd take us to the library.
Oh, as like a reward.
It was a reward because like I said, we love reading and we passed around a bunch of books.
Yeah.
I really like Stephen King,
Mm-hmm.
Clive Cussler, David Baldacci, Lee Child is very interesting. So
Mm-hmm.
I just love a good read, and I wanted something with a lot of action. I wanted to basically tell a story and see how all these different people were drawn together. And I think most readers will absolutely be thrilled with the ending. It will not disappoint.
Okay. Okay. Very good. And so you like reading more like thrillers and like crime novels then? Those are like your favorite genre, you would say, or
Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah, I love it. And the bit of the mysticism that Stephen King likes to throw in there once in a while.
Yeah.
Um, Clive Cussler, he has so much action in there, and I don't know enough about all these gadgets that they come up with and all that, but I just wanted to make sure it was a good read and had a lot of action.
Yeah.
So,
And so at the beginning of your book, your story begins with this like drunken accident, but it spirals into decades long, chain of tragedy with all these characters that you talked
yeah.
about. So what inspired the idea for your thriller novel?
I had started several books and I wanted to get something that had a lot of action. I don't really know. I don't know why it just, I started writing and I started it went so many different directions. I added
Mm-hmm.
some characters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I just wanted, it just flowed. I had no
Yeah.
idea. I kept writing and writing, racing and racing, right, race. And
Yeah.
then it just came out. I did have a general outline, but I threw that out a couple times. So
Oh, okay. You're like, I don't need this. It's
no, I
not
don't need
working out.
this. It was, well, what's the next step? If I were in this situation, what would I want to do or what happened? And
Yeah.
then if this happened to me, how would I react?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put
So
yourself
that
in.
I'm not in the book. I don't think I wrote myself in there. And surprisingly, picking characters' name was the most difficult because I knew a lot of people and I didn't
Yeah.
want them to say, "Oh, this is about me." No, I didn't want to do that. So, but
Yeah.
that was challenging.
Yeah. And so the setting of your book is Kalamazoo and northern Michigan and
Yep.
other places you mentioned. So what about that setting do you think added to like the tension and the atmosphere of the book?
Let's see. I think well, definitely the Upper Peninsula, because
Uh-huh.
that was where the big crime occurs, and the
Okay.
children are orphaned. And it had to work in a snowstorm,
Mm.
and Upper Peninsula gets lots of snow.
So, yeah.
So that's because I needed the snowstorm. I moved it all the way up to the UP just for that reason.
Okay. And so so a big part of your book is also a prison break
Yeah,
during a winter storm.
during a winter storm, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's a big moment in your book. How did you approach writing? Like you said, your book is very fast paced, but how did you approach writing, a type of scene that was, an escape scene or like a very high stakes scene?
How did I come
Scene.
up with it? Boy, it
Yeah,
just
and how'd you go
flowed.
about writing it?
It just flowed. I mean, the general concept was, the guy's put in jail. He gets
Hmm.
broken out of jail. It's a snowstorm. They crash. They're stuck in the church, which is across the street from the convent and home for unwed mothers. So the tension that the bad guys don't know because of the storm that there's people across the street. So that's where the tension came in. And
Hmm.
then the getaway was just a bit of fun there. How would
Okay.
someone get away in a big storm? Well, they call a snowplow. So
That's so exciting. And so so you mentioned that you had an outline but you threw it out, but
yeah,
your book, so that kind of like ties into my next question, but there are a lot of, mob scenes and shooting scenes and like consequences for things,
yeah,
that
yeah.
span decades worth of consequences. Did you always know that story would extend, far beyond those moments, or did that just come up organically?
I just kept writing. And again, what would happen when I keep giving away a lot of this, but when he's released, one of the characters just wants to just shoot him right then, but can't do it.
Hmm.
So what happens next? What can she do? And she decides to, 50 years after they were orphaned, to get them together and tell them really who they really were, because they don't know they were put in witness protection plan, and they don't know that three of them were sent to different parts of the country,
Hmm.
Atlanta, Colorado Springs, and Lake Havasu. I mean, they're all spread out. The odds of them meeting would never have occurred if she had not said, "Hey, come on, I'm going to tell you what you need to know. This is very important." So that's where the tension, and that's where a lot of the retribution, I guess is the word I'm looking for,
Hmm.
occurs. So
Yeah. How is it writing, all these different kinds of characters, mobsters and the children, the victims' children's and their like
right.
hidden identities and all these things. Was it easy to keep the characters um separated and their arcs and everything like that? So how is it writing characters for you?
Well, they're all different. They all went different directions. They all did different things. I think the Doug, who's the only man, it's two women and a man. Doug, he's a bit of a cartoonish type guy. So there are people like him I know. So I thought I'll put a little bit of
Inspo.
him, yeah. And then the ladies, one's ambitious, and the other one's sort of shy and reserved. So they're just three different characters. And how would they react given their personalities? And what did they experience between when they were put into witness protection and when they met? Three of them
Hmm.
actually met and found out about their past. So
Hmm.
that was like wheels, spokes of a wheel, right? They come from different directions and they meet in the center there. So
Hmm.
I don't know. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah. Well, I did have another character question too. So as far as like, the mob's boss's son and maybe other villainous characters in the book, how
Right.
did you go about writing villainous characters, and did you want to at all like humanize them at all, or how did you go about writing your villain characters?
I have no idea. I just kept writing and I kept thinking, what are they like? Right. You've seen the movies, Godfather and all that.
Yes,
And
yes, they're
right,
great.
you've seen that and there's
Classic mob story.
yeah, exactly. There's a lot of mob stories. What's that one? Tulsa King or something like that. I don't really watch those, but I see snippets. So
Yeah.
to me, it was let's see how they come up. There's a bit of humor in there too, when the six guys are dumped out in Kansas without clothes.
Hmm.
Anyway,
And what was your favorite part of writing? Did you like writing the more like action scenes with like details, or did you like dialogue, or both? What was your like favorite part of writing
um,
the book?
character development to me was fun. Trying to come up with the characters and
Okay.
a couple of the backgrounds of uh, Andy, who happens to be the security chief, right? He had a really rough background in the UP and how they
Hmm.
met, where he went, director of the Marshal Service, et cetera, how he got in there, and how, again, how they all tied together.
Yeah,
So it was just
it was
character
fun.
development to me was very important. I really wanted to get people an idea of this character where they would say, "Hey, I know someone like that. This reminds me of Bob or Sally or something like that."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And so you do currently reside in Michigan. Are you from Michigan or do you live
yep,
there?
yep.
Okay.
Grew up. I grew up in Dearborn.
Okay.
My dad was a Ford engineer, and I was a Ford engine engineer.
Oh, cool.
So I'm on the West Side now. My ex-wife and I divorced 10 years ago already. My goodness. And she got the house in Dearborn and I got the summer house in West Michigan. And when I retired, I said, this is where I want to retire to. I'm on the lake. I have a beautiful view. Um, it just a way different lifestyle here. Rural, it's a resort town, just very comfortable for me.
What's the city you live in, West Michigan?
It's Montague.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Me and my family, we like going up to Sleeping Bear Dunes every year. And
Oh yeah.
Frankfurt. Oh, it's my
Did,
favorite.
did you ever get stuck at the bottom and have to get rescued?
No, no, I've never gotten stuck. No. Hopefully
That's
that never happens.
Now we do camping too. We like
Oh,
camping,
yes.
love camping in Michigan.
Yeah, it's the
So it's
best.
just good to get
Yeah,
away. But
Michigan's the best.
mhm.
So how is it, since you live in Michigan, how is it tying Michigan into your story and adding all these, only, Michigan only, used things that people probably wouldn't know otherwise, like sneaking in Michigan, um, plots and settings like that. How was that? Was that fun for you?
Well, again, the mothers who were murdered, I put them in major cities, right? Let's see,
Okay.
Lansing, Kalamazoo, and Flint, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're just people who live in the city, and their parents are just ordinary people. Um, they all the are unwed mothers, and they got sent up north back in 1970. It was a stigma to be an unwed mother. So a lot of, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of places and churches would have a convent or something would be for unwed mothers.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, since I wanted the snowstorm to be a main part, that's why they ended up in the Upper Peninsula. Um, and traveling around Michigan, I knew it well.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah. It was
where
perfect.
it's where I'm from. It's what I want to write about.
Yeah. And what is the time or the year that your story is placed?
Okay, in 1970
Okay.
is where
1970.
it begins with the rape and then the murder and then the abandonment. Dying, one of the fathers overdosed and died, and then the other characters who just had a bunch of bad luck and were in the prison anyway when the bad guy got there. Um, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't know. It just the again the location of the
Yeah.
breakout had to be important like that, and
Hmm.
obviously the escape, which how they went to the certain town and got discovered, and another murder occurred, and how they got out of Michigan through Port Huron. It's all places I'm familiar with.
Yeah. Yeah. And so your book, it has, certain themes of justice and revenge. How is it writing such monumental themes in your book?
It was again. This was if I was one of the characters. what would I have done? There's
Hmm.
injustice. He's out. He's a free man, right? He's doing his still doing his thing, and the main character Karen, she wanted revenge, no doubt about that, because her husband was murdered. So she says, "You know what? There are three other victims of this guy. Let's get them all together and let's see what happens from there." And by
Hmm.
chance, one of them identifies to the bad guy that they are
Hmm.
one of the children, the one in Colorado. So
Hmm.
that spawned the they found they're now he's going to go after all three of them. So the theme for me was simple. Let's get them all together. Let's work together and get rid of this guy. Just make,
Hmm.
just figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll play by ear, see what happens, and off we go. And then
Yeah.
that explains sort of the ending, I guess. Because
Okay.
when they at the in the final scene, they weren't sure what was going to happen, but what happened was interesting. Um, the two nuns that are in there, I had to use them. That was a lot of fun. Character
Hmm.
development of those two was very fun too. I'm not Catholic, I'm Methodist, so I've invented them and see where what they did and what they.
Yeah, what they could get into.
Yeah.
Um, how was it like, balancing, very like thrill, crime pace and, like emotional side of writing?
Uh, had to get into character a couple times on the emotion. What if this
Hmm.
happened to me? How would I feel about this?
Hmm.
There's a lot of pain in this book, lots of pain, and then lots of determination, I think. So those are the two, you know, two. How do I say it? Those are the two main motivators for my writing: the
Okay.
character development and
Hmm.
keeping it interesting, not ridiculously boring. So
Yeah. Yeah. And so, what do you hope readers, feel when they reach the final chapter of your book? You mentioned the ending is crazy. Don't want to give that away, but what do you hope readers leave with, while reading your book?
I want it to be a good read. I
Okay.
want them to really get into the characters. And
Hmm.
again, hey, I know somebody like that. That reminds me of Sam or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it just had to be a good read. I didn't want it to be predictable.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think anyone could start that book and move to the next section and the next section and predict, oh, I knew that was going to happen. I don't think that's the
Yeah.
case. But again, it had to be a good read, fast
Yeah.
paced, not
Yeah.
too wordy.
Is there anything that surprised you most while writing your story?
Yes, everything really surprised me. Everything. I just kept writing and writing and going back and erasing and starting over and then adding characters and reducing. Um, there's no surprise. It was just a fun way to spend time now that I'm retired. And
Oh yeah, okay.
my oldest son's a lawyer, and he said, "By the way, you're retired. You need to keep your brain going." I said, "Okay, I know need to get my brain going." Oh,
Keep
by the
your
way, I'm
brain
writing a
going.
book, so
That'll do it.
that'll do it. Yeah.
When did you start writing your book?
It took me probably a good 3 years to get through it.
Okay.
Um, so we did do a lot of traveling. We like going to Disney World. We're just a couple of big kids here.
Wow.
Um, for a time, we had a house in Florida. We sold that. So mornings, I'd get up and spend a couple hours. There've been a couple times where I start writing and I look at the clock. It's been 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, wow,
Oh
right?
wow.
I just lose track of time when I really get into the character development and the plot, um, and move on. So
Yeah. So you said you write in the mornings. Is that your routine to write in the
yeah,
mornings? Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
I read the book by Stephen King. He wrote about on writing, right? And he said basically he tries to do 2,000 words a day.
Mm-hmm.
And he does his. I think he said he did it in the afternoon, like from 1 to 3 or whatever. And I thought, boy, you know what? Let me see when I should be doing this, because otherwise, if I didn't have a set schedule and say now this is the time where I have to do this, I'd
Yeah.
probably be in chapter 3 or something like that. I would never would have got
Yeah.
through it.
Yeah. Yeah. You stayed, diligent. Yeah, that's good.
Hmm. Yeah.
What was your writing experience like?
Oh, this is funny. Actually, when I was a senior in high school, I was on the yearbook, and I wrote two articles, one on high school dating and one on high school driving. So
Okay.
just a little talk, and had some pictures in there, and everyone said, "Boy, that was pretty creative. I enjoyed that." So
Aw, that's awesome.
yeah, so that was part of it.
Uh-huh.
Um, Being an engineer is all technical writing and all that. There was no fun in that. It's
No
just
creativity, yeah.
no, no, it was no, quite the opposite. If I created something, that would not be good. You had to have specific. Most of the time, you had to go with statistics,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
calculations and figuring all that materials and all that. So boring stuff that the readers would not. I'm definitely not going to write a technical book. I'll tell you that right
Yeah. Yeah, that's no fun. So you
now. No.
really were craving to write something that was creative and fun and something that um you enjoyed, reading. You wanted to write something that you enjoyed reading, which is exciting.
Yeah, that was the key. I thought what the books that I read, what the character development, right? I want to
Hmm.
make sure what about the authors I write. What do? They have very good characters. So,
Hmm.
Clive Cussler, for example,
Hmm.
his books are one after another. Lee Child, Jack Reacher, right? Same characters. The development of the character was important. So I wanted it to be a good read, and again, people to relate to the characters. And
Hmm.
one of the people that I knew in Florida, she was on Facebook and she told me, "Oh, I hope the guy gets it right." 'Cause she was halfway in the book, so she
Yeah.
was really getting into it and getting
Oh,
emotional and empathizing with the victims and all that. So
yeah. Yeah. Was anyone surprised that you were writing a book, or family and friends, were they surprised that you were writing a book, or was this like something where like they're like, "Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna write a book because he's, mentioned it before."
uh, I don't know when I told them. I mean, I have three kids, and I told them I was working on it. And I think at the end, when I started getting the copy, the colors, the covers, and the
Oh,
front and
okay.
back cover,
Edition.
I started sending little snippets in
Yeah.
email or a little text and say, "Hey, look at this." They're like, "What?
This
What
is
is this?
real.
Dad's writing a book? Are you kidding?" So,
That's
and
so
then
exciting.
the extended family, my sister, her family, my nieces, nephews, etc.
Oh,
So,
okay. So, oh, that's awesome. What was the most difficult part of your writing process? Did you have a difficult part of your writing process?
editing. I
Oh.
think there's a couple mistakes in the book, and I've read that thing 5 times, and every time I caught another mistake, and then and I just keep going, I keep going, and then one of the people that used to work for me, his wife looked at it. She was a technical writer, and she found a couple more mistakes. So editing to me was the roughest part,
Hard.
but
Hmm.
I've learned a lot on how to do it for the second book.
Okay, that's good. Is there a section of your book or a part of your book that was the most fun for you to write?
Um, hmm. I think the dinner scene at the hotel, where the three characters are introduced, and um, it it was just fun having how they reacted and how they were telling their stories, and the people who raised them, and
Mm.
they found out, oh, this is why this person is in my life. This is why I don't have family, etc. So that to me was it was just basically again everyone meets the spokes came together and there's the center of the hub right then and there.
Hmm. And what's been the feedback, or have you had a nice review that you've received about your book so far?
I've got a lot of good reviews so far. A lot of people
Good.
said really. I was going into the Boys and Girls Club to lifeguard the other day, and one
Yeah.
of the member service person said, "I read your book. I loved it." I said, "Oh, thank you. That was really nice."
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
it seems like a book where people like can't put it down, or they want to, keep reading it because they really like the characters. And that was your goal, right?
that was my goal,
Yeah.
and I had someone said I stayed up till 2 in the morning. I couldn't put it down.
That's such a nice compliment.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
other people I think were like, "Oh, I didn't expect you to write with such violence and all that." Right. So
It's just a storytelling.
yeah.
What about your kids? Did have all three of your kids read it?
Um, I don't know. I don't think so because they are so busy. I don't actually. I don't think any of them are really avid readers like my sister
Oh,
or
okay.
my mother. God rest her soul. We
Mhm.
used to pass. The three of us used to pass books back and forth. Right, and we
Oh,
ended up
that's
putting our
so
initials in
special.
the front cover, so we remembered if we read it or not.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Um, so what advice would you give to a writer working on his or her first book?
just do it. Set a schedule. Just do it. Don't
Yeah.
when you get stuck, walk away, think about it, and come
Yeah.
back. My nephew Tom, he's writing a book, and he says he gets stuck frequently. He
Mm.
said, "Uncle Randy, what do you do?" I said, "Okay, so what I would do if I'm stuck, I would lay in bed before I fall asleep and think about what where do I want to go? Which direction? A, B, C. What do I want to do?"
Yeah.
It was a very good cure for insomnia. Not that I had it, but I came up with a lot of good ideas just before I, fell asleep and all that. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's good advice. What was it like getting your book for the first time in the mail and holding your published book? What feeling did you have?
it was so satisfying. All that work, all that time, and
Yeah.
here it is, and this is great. So
Yeah.
I'd already started the second one
Oh my God.
after I sent it to Archway and went through the process and got the edits back and re-edited or actually unedited some of the things they took out, which
Okay.
to me, but
Yeah.
but yeah, it's good. The second book, like I said, I'm about two-thirds, and I have a really fun concept for the third book.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
Nice.
but I'm not going to go to the third book until I finish the last sections of the second book.
What's your second book about briefly or genre?
Um, oh, boy, I don't even know how to start this. A doctor and his wife are having issues. She thinks he's having an affair with one of the nurses. So in counseling, they decide to go on a vacation to Morocco.
Oh
And
gosh.
they're in Morocco. They're visiting all the famous sites for movies. I can't pronounce it. Eight Benadou, I think, is where like part of Star Wars was filmed, etc.
Hmm.
And robbers stop them and kill the doctor,
Oh
or
no.
so she thinks.
Oh, that
Yeah,
sounds
there's
good.
going to be a twist in
Thank
here,
God.
believe me. Yeah. I love
Awesome.
I love creating twists and turns.
Yeah.
And there's a
Yeah.
few more in there too, and there's a
Oh
bit
my
of
gosh.
mysticism or that can't really happen, can it? Type of thing in
Hmm.
there.
Hmm.
So
How did these like good ideas come to you? They just come to you naturally, and it
I
seems
don't
like
know.
it seems like you were meant to be a crime novelist.
Again, I loved reading those books when I was younger.
Yeah.
Um, what was the Hardy Boys was one of my first ones, right?
Oh man. Yeah.
I don't, and I would read my sister's Nancy Drews also because I just
Uh-huh.
love reading that too.
Yeah.
I never told my friends at the time I read
That
Nancy
you read Nancy
the Hardy
Drew.
Boys. And then there was Alfred Hitchcock's
Mm,
Boys or whatever. I can't remember that. Those were fun too.
yeah.
But to me, the crime was always interesting. What was the crime? What happened?
Hmm.
I don't watch TV much, but the Forensic Files, that was very good for me learning about
Mm.
how to solve a crime or what
Like research.
evidence,
Yeah.
research,
Yeah.
yeah, stuff like that. So,
Yeah. Did you have to do any research for your books?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
How
Yeah.
was that part of that process for you?
The yeah, the location.
Okay.
The location is really where I would get on Google Maps. Right. So when they go to downtown Atlanta to meet the IRS, I knew it was on Peachtree Street or whatever the heck it was. So I would Google where the heck is the IRS in Atlanta. Oh, it's on Peachtree Street.
Uh-huh.
Lake Havasu, the same. Lake Havasu, I actually had been to many times when I was working at Ford. That we did hot weather testing there, so I was familiar with that.
Hmm.
Colorado just seemed that sort of in that the place out there. I
Hmm.
just threw that in. But
Hmm.
there was a lot of research that had to be done. And this book, the second one, a lot of research. I've never been to Morocco, so I
Oh
have to
yeah.
look things up
Look
on
it up. Yeah.
Google and look for webcams. So
Hmm. Okay. Very cool. Did you like the part of researching?
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
enjoy it. I mean, it could be part of my background,
Yeah. I was
having to
gonna say.
really dig deep into to see what's going on, what the
Yeah.
problems are, or where if we had issues. What was the weather like when we had this failure? Was it cold? Was it hot?
Hmm.
That kind of thing. Did it overheat? Did something freeze? So that's the kind of thing where I really needed to understand the location and its
Yeah.
environment.
Sure. Yeah. And so you said that you're working on second, want to work on third. What other, personal and professional goals do you have for this year?
Uh, I mean, I enjoy lifeguarding because the little kids come in and they learn how to swim, and they're just so much fun. There's so much joy. They wave at me, and it's just so much fun to relax and
Yeah.
enjoy that. We're remodeling the house. I have three grandchildren now.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
so
That's
looking forward to
exciting.
having them come out here for some beach time and some. They're really young, but I think they'll still enjoy the water and the boat and all that. So
Where do your kids live?
they're okay. So the two boys live in the Detroit area,
Okay.
Berkeley and Oak Park,
Okay.
and my daughter, who just graduated with a master's in environmental engineering, is in Austria.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's exciting.
Yeah, yeah,
That's cool.
she likes living there. She's looking for a job there,
Very cool.
although her father would like to see her more often.
What is that time difference? Is it 5 or 6 hours?
Six
Six? Okay.
hours.
Six.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we FaceTime on Sundays when she's not too busy.
Yeah.
So
Doing her thing.
yeah, my wife and I are planning on visiting in April.
Oh, that'll be nice.
As long as the world is stable by then,
Yeah.
I think it'd be great. Looking
Yeah.
forward
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, that'll be cool. All right. Well, if there's anything else that you want to mention today, it was great having you. Do you have anything else that you want to say to our readers or any message that you want to say?
Read my book. I hope you enjoy the things that I had so much fun doing, the character
Mhm.
development, the plot, and definitely the ending.
Uh-huh.
I've got
Yeah,
a
we'll
lot of
talk about
comments
the
on the
ending.
ending.
All right. Very
That's
cool.
it. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here, being on the show, and good luck with your book and your future books.
Yeah.
I think your book is really thrilling, and I think if anyone loves crime, they should definitely check it out. And yeah, if you're looking for a new crime book to add to your bookshelf, you can head to archwaypublishing.com and purchase it through the online bookstore. You can also get it through Amazon and Barnes& and Noble if you prefer that route. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.